Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to episode 16 of this Let's Play Victoria 2. This is the March of the Vikings, and we are Nytungvik. And actually, before we get going proper, I just want to double check the election results again. Yes, this is just continuing on from last time. Oh man, not good. Okay, continue. Don't crash. Good. Right, what's happening? We are not fighting any wars. We are basically just passing time. This has not exactly been the most thrilling Victoria game ever, because we just haven't been able to do anything. Call to arms from you, though. You are fighting against India. And I have a feeling you're going to be massively outnumbering them once again. Yeah, you've brought in everyone against just India. 3,700 military strength against 320. I don't think you're going to need my help. Especially if Siam's in. Siam's in. No, we're good. Like, I know that Mordgard are my bros and they had my back during the crisis and all, but the war's already over. So even if I'd wanted to, I'm not even sure I would have arrived on time. Okay, we are losing more money again. Let's increase taxes to 27%. That should more than make up for the deficit. It did. Yeah, easily. More factory input. Excellent. Any more army stuff? No. Industry. Let's get advanced metallurgy just to make sure we have that one finished. Anything to help the industries are a good thing. So what did you take? Like, Mordgard's just taking more and more of India. Liberals have grown. Socialists have actually shrunk this time. I might just flip the government on my own. I don't like that this many people are unemployed. And it is a lot of people. Yeah, screw it. We are going to become socialist. Increases militancy, but at this stage my armies are pretty darn strong, so we should be able to handle this. I'm just going to go through and get rid of all of the priorities so that people can just flow into work. And then I'm going to take a look at the subsidies and the amount of money being paid out in social spending. So we're spending 600 in social. Subsidies are 300. 200. Subsidies are dropping very quickly. Social spending should drop pretty quickly too. The other thing I need to do is make sure that we have factories open everywhere. Like you, need more. You, and you. I'm just going to open factories everywhere, except here. You're not enough. That could do with another. Both of those. And that one. That one. That one. And I need more money. Am I taking a loan? I have. So taxes will need to go up. 30% ought to do it. Subsidies are up to 400. So right now we are losing money, but that's because our factories are still, like, recovering from their period of closure while we're letting more people get back to work. Because once we're done, the number of people out of work should be right down. And thankfully, upgrading these factories is really quite cheap. Right, that should be all of the factories that I need open. And the capitalists are still building stuff, and it actually looks like, yeah, the number of capitalists in our nation is growing, which bodes well. And they are building a whole bunch of factories of their own. They just needed a little extra help, and that's totally fine. Alright, social spending's still not that far down. We can repay this loan. Whoops, what's blocking me? Anti-minority agitation. The Nytungvik Fascist Party has embarked on a political propaganda campaign denouncing everything they consider to be a foreign influence in Nytungvik, particularly targeting minorities and immigrants. The party campaign appeals to Nytungvikan xenophobia and agitates Soto Voce for the expulsion of those immigrants from the Nytungvik state. Several leading intellectuals have denounced the campaign as inflammatory. Really? And have expressed support for the national minorities. We are definitely denouncing. And a lot of people are already back in work. I dislike that Jiangxi has 141,000 people out, though. We are building an absolute boatload of factories, by the way. Look at that list. That's crazy. Awesome. And what else is our spending like? Like, how many clergy do we have? We are slightly over the odds in clergy. We still need more clerks. We're making money. Some of our poor are actually getting their luxuries. Fantastic. Mostly labourers. Oh, no, sorry. 2.7 million farmers. I was misreading that. Stock market report, become more liberal. Campaign for basic human rights needs to go national. And you guys are totally satisfied. You guys are still struggling a little. Artisans? Artisans. Ooh, the final ones are available. Apparently, we've had the Great War. Must have been really great, because I didn't notice it at all. All past strata gain consciousness, gain 5% more liberal. Yeah, alright. Not exactly the correct meaning of liberal in this instance, but alright. Anything else need opening? And I should definitely go through and double check on the number of workers. No, clerks. Yeah, the number of factories is growing rather nicely now. Well, they already were. It's just that we couldn't keep ahead. How is the economy looking? 600, 500. So, okay, the Liberals are a little bit better at managing the budget than the Socialists are. Because we're having to pay subsidies and also the social spending. But I'm hoping as the subsidies go up, the social spending will go down. And in fact, 70 of that is for pensions, which we don't have much control over. Having a free press means having to deal with the strangest things. The Nytungvik Watchman, a queer little tabloid that sees a fair amount in circulation in one of our states, has published an opinion piece painting the foreign minister to be a member of a secret Masonic sect. Do not deny we get all population with above 20% literacy. What is that literacy rate? That should be pretty decent. 49%. So that's going to be most of our populace. Gain militancy and consciousness. Above 80% is not going to be most. But I saw him in the lodge last week. All aristocrats and capitalists gain a bunch of militancy. I'm going to take this one. Because it's all those above 80% literacy. Which isn't going to be that many, I don't think. Drunken riots. Fun times. Upper house rearranged. Liberals lost a bunch. Socialists gained a tiny bit. Who gained the most? The fascists did. Interesting. No reforms possible. Unemployment is sinking, though nowhere near as quickly as I would have liked. Political reforms selected, state controlled. Oh, this is the trade union. Which means what? So it is a backward step. Social reform desire goes down, which is not a good one. No, we don't want to do that. Shut them down so they gain conscious militancy. We lose militancy but gain even more consciousness. We'll let them continue to exist, that's fine. Our militancy is actually really high. As is our consciousness. For a long time that was about 3. Which should actually be a big boost for our economy. As more people need... No! Shit! Not that one. I meant repay. Wrong button. Curtailing military spending becomes 5% more in favour of anti, which is socialist, so I'm going to take that. It's the entire population. Ah, that was aeroplanes and cars and electric gears. Right. Do we want to become a democracy at this point? 26% liberal, 22... No, wait. 26, 22. No, we don't. I don't think we want proportional representation. I think we're going to allow all the trade unions, though we are a socialist nation after all. Or wannabe socialist. That'll do. Ah. Factories. I need to build some of the newcomers. I also need to make sure all of these are getting upgraded, because apparently the capitalists have decided to slack. Which also means I'm going to need to raise some more funds. That's raising a lot of funds. That's fine. Just means that we can get the factories and stuff going even faster. Blink, blink, blink. Build them. Build them all. Telephone factory. So are the capitalists building the new stuff like the automobile factories? No. Doesn't look like it. Alright, so where is unemployment still really high? Jiangxi and Southern Anhui. Jiangxi could definitely do with automobile factory and telephone factory and aeroplane? Sure, why not? Jiangxi and then South Anhui, where are you? There you are. You can have an automobile factory, and we'll need to raise a bit more capital. Or not. We just... Why can't I? What? I can build them. Tank factory. Telephone. And then here I'm going to get electric gears. Don't know why they were greyed out. Kusala wants an alliance. Sorry, buddies, but no. Apparently I took a loan at some point. I'll repay that. We'll be earning enough money very, very easily. Military spending is still at maximum. Tariffs are fine. Social spending is a maximum. Could probably beef up my administration a little bit more. 1.6, yeah, we do actually need more bureaucrats, so we'll go up to 100%. That'll do. Oh, we have some troops taking attrition. Let's group you, split you, and have you stay here. And you fight crime. Dali wants an alliance. I say no. Right. I think we can once again reduce taxes to 35. In fact, we can probably even go lower. 30. 30. Perfect. And how is the subsidies? Subsidies are still very high. Social spending is still very high. But unemployment should be coming down. The other thing that we need to check are the proportion of clerks. Still going up, still going up. You have more than enough. You can stop. Still going up, still going up. And you have more than enough. Actually, these are pretty good. You could have a couple more. Don't need many, though. Okay, good. Happy with that. Money still coming in, still socialist, still 19th. More nationalist rebels, but our armies are pretty decent at this point. Like, rebels don't tend to stand much of a chance. Leaflet campaign becomes more reactionary, it becomes more liberal. I'll take the reactionary. Great war experience. Excellent. More artillery, more combat width, and cooler models. We'll go with the better artillery, seeing as we do actually have rather a lot of artillery in our armies. Seeing as our military seems to be split between military, artillery and engineers. Okay. We have got plenty of money once more. Tank exploits. Armor siege, armor attack, armor defense. Our tanks got better. Huzzah. Right, do we need more factories? We don't need many. I think I'm going to open more and keep them at capacity just because I can. And then when we switch back to liberal, if we do, then we'll have surplus capacity for free, basically. Then hopefully the capitalists can stay ahead of the curve. And they will also be shutting a couple of factories because not all of them are making money. Like this guy will probably get shut down. But then everything else is open, so hopefully it all balances out in the end. Becomes more militant, becomes more conscious. I'll take the consciousness. Upper house rearranged. 6% more liberal, 4% more socialist, minus 17% conservative. They always seem to have these massive swings, but nothing much comes out of it. The liberals are definitely pulling ahead, though. So we need to make sure that we get as much done as we possibly can while we have this government. So that's going to mean beefing up taxes again. Because as soon as the election's over, so is our opportunity to meddle. A lot of our old generals are dying. Veterans of various wars. Oh. Militarism. We need less jingoism. That'll mean that people are less militaristic. A fascist newspaper has begun circulating in one of our states. The paper, Nytungvik and Dawn, carries fiery denunciations of everything between heaven and earth, including, but certainly not limited to, communists, socialists, liberals, conservatives, foreigners, minorities, women, homosexuals, capitalists, deviants, and criminals. While the paper carries a fair amount of vitriol, it does manage to capitalise fairly well on several of the attitudes that are prevalent among fairly broad strata of our society, whatever that says about Nytungvik and society. I think it's going to be read mostly by the middle class, because it's smaller. Armchair fascists. That's what they are. More guns. Keeping a very close eye on these so I can get the upgrades going as soon as they become available. Oh, what's this? Universal or proportional representation? No. Actually, we have... What, Jefferson method? I don't even know what that is. First past the post, I know. Jefferson method, I know. Sorry, proportional representation, I know. There's a highest averages methods. Candidate with most votes wins. Socialists want this one. The liberals also want it. You know what? We'll go proportional. Let's keep an eye on this. Ooh, yeah, another round of upgrades. Good, good, good. Then hopefully where there's lots of spare capacity, people will move to it, though they haven't seemed to do that very often in the past. It's something that's supposed to happen, but apparently hasn't much. Secularization versus religion. The socialists are secularized. And every upgrade is capacity for another 10,000 people. So we should have loads of space for people, considering the rate that we're upgrading this stuff. Like here, there's loads. It does mean that they're less efficient if they're not full. So that is something we do need to consider. Okay, I'm only going to start upgrading in the places that actually need upgrades. Or if that factory is producing a silly amount of money. War policy. We need anti-military. Socialists got 21%, Liberals got 35%, Fascists got 9%, so they've lost. Communists got 4%, Anarcho-Liberals, that's the Radicals, got 4%. So we should, once again, be Liberal. We are. Okay, before we pause that, social spending is currently down at 400. So we did save some stuff. I just wonder if it was enough. But we should have enough factories to keep people employed for quite a while, I hope. Depending on how much they shut down. And there is going to be a period of where they just shut everything down. Though it's not doing too badly so far. The die has been cast. 77 unemployed, 100,000 unemployed. Where was that? Jiangxi, of course. So how many places are they shut down? Okay, a lot of these are struggling with resources. That's interesting. Resources would be tariff. Or make them cheaper so you can afford more of them. Yeah, that's helped somewhat. All poor strata become 30% more fascist. Or loads more militant and loads more conscious. So be it. Doesn't look like they've shut anywhere down yet. There's still a couple more things being built. But usually factories do have a bit of a treasury. So once that treasury is emptied like this... Really? Why is no one working here? This is usually one of the biggest money spinners. There's not enough cotton. What is the state of affairs right now? Also, we can get some of these. Increasing the needs, that means that there is more capacity. More demand for stuff. I don't want to go to universal because that means I can't switch government anymore. Minimum wage means that factories get more expensive to maintain. Hang on, we have no pensions. Why are we paying pensions? Who's getting the £56 a day? That's outrageous. We don't even pay pensions. I think I'm going to go with the limited safety regulations. Okay. Actually, maybe I shouldn't be jumping on the reforms quite so quickly, because I think that does make your government more conservative every time you do it. Because they basically are placated. If you don't do the reforms, then the socialists get stronger and stronger because they want stuff to get pushed through. Okay, we are making a lot of money again. I'm okay with this. Ooh, got heavy armament. Cool. Let's make the units look cooler. And also better fighty stuff, of course. More tanks. Priorities. Very, very straight. Liberals, plus 12%. Blimey. Conservatives lost 32. That's the highest I've ever seen. 8% for the socialists. Oh, right. That's because after the social reform swing. So, yeah, the Liberals are gaining because people are happy with the state of affairs. The socialists are losing in comparison because no one wants the extra changes. Alliance offer from Champa? No, thank you. Lawless suffragettes. Conservatives and Liberals become more militant. Great. Although these have come down really quickly again. They were at like 8% for a while, weren't they? Something like that. We're still sitting on 19th. Anything else in the world changing? Scandinavia is still occupied. Genoa did Genoa win their war against Italy? It certainly looks that way, doesn't it? I think they did. I think they've taken some of South America from Italy as well. Ha! Interesting. So how are the great powers looking? Italy is 3rd, Genoa is 5th. They were 6th, I think, or even 7th. Scandinavia is down to 7th. And the Byzantines are just running away even further. Oh, we have a population of 24 million. Byzantines 82, Mordgard 62, that's part of the reason. Though Scandinavia should have a pretty high one, 44, they've lost some. Italy 38, Ecumenical Patriarchate 34. I love the fact that these guys have such a high population as well. It's the Orthodox Pope, it's the Patriarch. 23 million in Genoa, that's fairly low. Spain 22, that was of course the Navarrese. Oh, they are socialists. Navarrese company. Scandinavia, communist, 44 million. And then Sicily. Sicily's somehow doing really well with 8 million. You guys are liberal, you're conservative, liberal. Fascist. We have fascist Genoa. Interesting. Socialist, communist, conservative. So everyone except for the radical liberals are represented. Can't believe Genoa's gone fascist. That's hilarious. Oh, another social reform. So do we want to wait and let the socialists get stronger, or do we just want to push these through? I'm going to make it wait. I'm not going to do it. As much as I like doing those reforms, I'd like my political landscape to change slightly. And on that note, I shall say thank you very much for watching. If you are enjoying this series, then please do hit that like button. If you haven't done so already, then do consider subscribing. And if you want to support the channel in other ways, check out the Patreon. If you have any tips or advice for me, leave a comment below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.